Okay, welcome everybody to our wellness event for September. This is a three-part event. This is probably the most important one we're going to do for the year. So it's important that everybody pays attention and really absorbs all the information. Some of your coworkers who might have not been able to make it, pass on some of the flyers we have to try to get as many people as we can involved. We have the three parts today: to know your numbers. We're going to tell you all about the upcoming biometric screening and why it's so important to get screened and to know your numbers before something big happens. We're going to tell you about the health risk assessment that you're going to complete online through Christ Hospital's portal. And it's a one-step process to do two things at once. You're going to be able to complete your HRA, which is only going to take about 5 minutes, if even. And at the end of that, right online, is when you're going to pick your time to schedule your biometric screen. So you're going to do it all right there online. We have flyers, we have the links, and it's up and running, so you'll be able to get started right away after this presentation and go online and go ahead and get started on that. Joy from Christ Hospital is here. She's going to walk you through everything, the Know Your Numbers presentation, and then the HRA and the biometric screening setup for your appointments. Things are going to be a little bit different than we've done in the past. The screening, you're going to get instant results at the screening. You're going to meet with the counselor right after you get screened. They'll review your results. If anything on those results looks that you need to get some attention to, and even if you don't have a PCP, primary care doctor, they will help you get a doctor and set an appointment and get that taken care of before it becomes a problem. Anybody who is enrolled through UHC at KDM, the screening is absolutely free, no charge. If you waived your coverage here at KDM and you have coverage through your spouse with United Healthcare or Humana or Anthem, you can sign up, bring in your card, and Christ could also bill it to them as well. And again, it won't cost you anything. If you don't have insurance, you can sign up and get screened for $24, which is really a crazy low price. Just to get your lab work would cost you $125 on the outside, and chances are you'd have to go to a doctor and get the lab ticket also, so it'd be over $300 to do this on the outside. So for $24, it's a good deal if you don't have insurance. Another reminder, complete privacy. Everything is being done through Christ Hospital. No personal information will be communicated to KDM whatsoever. KDM will only get an aggregate data report at the end to see exactly what's going on among the group, and we can design some future presentations for that. This meeting and this screening event could be the best way you can save yourself thousands of dollars on your healthcare costs. Not only catching something early and getting it treated with maybe some medication before you might need surgery and long-term services that would cost you thousands of dollars in out-of-pocket expenses, you're also contributing to the entire group to try to keep the claims down and to keep your premiums down. So this really is an opportunity for everybody to potentially save a lot of money. And also, before the presentation is over, if you haven't signed in yet, make sure you sign in to get your 5 points for today's presentation. Remember, you'll get 15 points on your scorecard to do the HRA, and you'll get another 15 points to do your screening here. So just by today and following through, you can get 35 points on your scorecard, which runs right through April. So everybody has plenty of time to get their points and get their discount on their health care and health insurance for next year. Okay? So with that, I'm going to let Joy take over from here.
Hi everyone, my name is Joy Littleton with the Christ Hospital, and I am a certified health education specialist and a certified wellness and health coach, just to clarify what those numbers mean. So today we're going to talk about your numbers. It's my understanding that you've gone through many biometric screenings, right? Is that correct? Okay. So we're just going to, give you more of a refresher so that you know what we're going to be looking for and what you can try to target when you do have your screening. And we're also going to see if you are at risk and exactly what it is that we're trying to prevent. So the top diseases for men and women in the United States are heart disease, stroke, cancer, COPD, Alzheimer's, and diabetes. All the numbers in which we are going to screen can attribute to these diseases, including your blood pressure, cholesterol, triglycerides, fasting blood sugar, your weight and BMI, your percent body fat, and your waist circumference. Those are all that we will be collecting during your screening. So I'm going to go through these few next slides, and I'm just going to click through. And I want you all to tell me if you see any trends that you see happening. So here we have the obesity rates in the United States, and heart failure rates, stroke death rates, hypertension, diabetes, and cholesterol. Did anyone see any trends as I click through? Go ahead and shout. Sure, so the darker the colors, the more prevalent that is in that part of the United States. So, obesity in the orange, the color is 30 to 35% of that population is obese. And so we're now, as you see, getting into 35%. So over 1/3 of the population in some states are now obese. So same with heart failure rates, more incidences of heart failure with the darker color. Same with stroke, hypertension, diabetes, and cholesterol. So anyone, what trends did you see?
Well, the high obesity rate, it seems like all the other illnesses follow.
Sorry?
Where the obesity rate was highest on the map, it seems like that's where the high rates are for all the sicknesses.
Absolutely, yes. So these maps kind of show us that everything can be connected. You know, with one high number comes another high number. So that's why we want to be aware of all of our levels, especially through this screening, so we know what we need to get in control so things don't get out of control. Okay, so why are these numbers important and where do they come from? So there's an ongoing study called the Framingham, Massachusetts study that's been going on since 1948, and they have studied families in Massachusetts to decide what contributes to a heart event. So that helped determine what risk factors and what levels are dangerous that may attribute to a heart disease. So the doctors didn't just pull these numbers out of nowhere. There's a lot of research behind it. So with your numbers, there are things we can change and things we can't. Things we can't are non-modifiable risk factors. One being our family. No matter how hard we try, we can't change who we're related to. And we're at a special risk if that family member has had heart disease or has diabetes, has high blood pressure, is all genetic. Being a male or postmenopausal female, and for men being 40 or women being over 50 years old. But things we do have control over are smoking, our cholesterol numbers, our blood pressure numbers, our inactivity levels, being overweight, how controlled our blood sugar is, and of course stress. So these are all things that we can have an impact on. Again, knowing your numbers will let you know what you need to get a hold of. So to get into your numbers, resting blood pressure, ideally we want that number to be around 120/80. And if you want to take notes on any of this, this is what I encourage you to do. This is what we'll be targeting during your screening. And as he said, we will be going over all these results right away, so you'll get any advice that you need right on the spot. So anything above 140/90 is going to be considered hypertensive and at a level that we would rather not see your blood pressure at. Your top number is your systolic pressure, and that is going to be the pressure in your vessels when your heart beats, so when blood is flowing through those vessels. Your bottom number is called your diastolic, and that is the pressure of your vessels when your heart is at rest, so in between beats. So again, 120/80 is ideal for your blood pressure. And your cholesterol. So there are a few aspects to your cholesterol, as you may know. Your bad cholesterol, your LDL, so your loser cholesterol is how you can remember that. You want that to ideally be less than 100. Anything above 160 is going to be considered high. Your LDL is what is going to contribute to plaque buildup, narrowing of your arteries, not allowing blood to flow as freely as you would like it to. Your total cholesterol, ideally you want to see that less than 200. Anything above 240 is going to be considered high. And your HDL, this is your healthy, happy, good cholesterol. And men and women have different goals for this one. So for men, the goal is to be above 40, and for women, to be above 50. With this number, the higher the better. Your healthy, happy HDL, good cholesterol is going to help fight off your bad LDL cholesterol. So that's why we want that number to be higher. You'll also receive a ratio, and that ratio is going to be between your total cholesterol and your HDL, and we want that number to be less than 4. Triglycerides, that'll be a part of your lipid panel that we take with your cholesterol. And so this is the amount of fat in your blood. For the goal is to have less than 150, and anything above 200 is going to be high. These are going to come from fatty food consumptions and excess carbohydrates. That includes grains, pastas, alcohol, processed foods, anything that your body is not going to expend as energy, any sugar that it's consumed, it's going to be stored in your fat and throughout your body, but in your fat as well, contributing to your triglyceride levels. And glucose, so glucose can be, is an indicator for having diabetes. So ideally fasting, we want that number to be less than 100. Anything from 100 to 125 could be classified as pre-diabetes, and a number that you want to be paying attention to so that you can get it in control so it doesn't get above the 126, classifying you as having diabetes. We don't want that number to be staying that high or getting any higher. So for your weight, we'll calculate your BMI, which is just a calculation with your height and weight. If you're dying to do it on your own, the calculation is weight in pounds divided by height in inches divided by height in inches times 703. I didn't come up with it. Maybe I could have. Or you can just type it into the computer, of course, your height and weight, and calculate it. But norms, so normal we want it to be between 18.5 and 24.9. Anything above 25 is going to put you at an increased risk for chronic disease. And so 25 to 29.9 considered overweight, and over 30 we consider obese. So we'll also test your percent body fat, and this can be a better gauge than BMI. BMI doesn't take into account muscle mass. So for someone who may be in really good shape, have a lot of muscle, they still could be considered obese. And there is still an increased risk there because you do have that added weight putting stress on your body. But percent body fat would be a better indicator for you. So everyone in this room looks about 30 to 39 years old. So for example, a male, 30 to 39, wants to be between 12 and 22%, and for women between 16 and 6%. So we'll also take what we'll say is waist circumference. The technical term is your abdominal girth, but I don't really like that term. So we won't be measuring at your waist what you may think is your pant size. We're going to be measuring your belly, just for that abdominal obesity to see how much fat may be around all of the organs. So for men, the goal is to be less than 39 inches, and for women to be less than 35. So just a joke here, you can see it. So early man spent all his time looking for food, and modern man has found it. So it's very true. We used to have to work a lot harder for our food, and now it just, come right in here. And it's very convenient now. So in the few weeks you have until your screenings, what can you be concentrating on? So you can increase your activity level. So they encourage 150 minutes a week of physical activity. So that doesn't have to sound like a lot. You can break it down into 30 minutes, 5 days a week. That even sounds like a lot. You can break it down 10 minutes, 3 times a day. You just want to make sure that you're really getting your heart rate up, so you are working your heart a little bit harder. Of course, it will increase or improve your blood pressure and cholesterol, help with your stress levels, and help with fat and weight loss. And of course, you want to eat healthier. Always the more natural, the better. So increasing fruit and vegetable consumption. It doesn't even have to mean replacing something with it, but adding fruits and vegetables into your diet is going to be beneficial to your body. And watching your consumption of carbohydrates, so making sure that not more than 50% of your total calories is coming from carbohydrates. You want to make sure you're eating whole grains and really watching out for added sugar. Unfortunately, added sugar isn't on a food label, or a nutrition label, so you can't find out how much is in there, and it's in nearly everything now. It's in almond milk, it's in the Cliff Bar you may eat, it's in yogurt, it's in this as well. So even things you may think are very healthy, still they're going to have added sugar in it. Of course, again, losing weight will help lower all of your numbers. So for anyone who smokes, it would be my number one tip to tell you not to smoke. No matter what your other health status is, as soon as you quit smoking, your body benefits right away. It'll decrease your blood pressure and will decrease the narrowing of your arteries. So one cigarette, as you can see this picture, can cause your arteries to narrow. So combine smoking with a high LDL number, plaque building up in your arteries, and maybe a high triglyceride level, thickening your blood with all that fat in it. And we have a pretty destructive total there that could not end well. So smoking, as I said, is the number one thing to do. So the goal is to stop smoking. And reducing your stress levels. We're all stressed. Maybe it's from work, maybe it's at home. But however that looks to you to reduce your stress, whether it's listening to music, going for a walk, maybe punching bag, or exercising, whatever that is, I encourage you to take the time to do that, to decompress from your day so that your stress levels aren't remaining high. And reducing your alcohol intake. It's recommended that women have no more than 1 per day and men no more than 2 per day. So, in thinking, like I said, the next few weeks, if you're wanting to, start a new path or after your screening, think about, what you're at risk for and maybe what you're ready to change. What were you able to do in the past? What do you know that you can work with? And of course, address any concerns you have. And maybe if you have concerns, think of them and you can address them with us during your screening as well. So I want you to leave here thinking, what's one little thing you can do to be healthier? And so I'll ask someone, what's one thing you can do to be healthier?
Exercise.
Exercise. Beautiful. Great. Any questions? Yeah.
Like the numbers you were talking about earlier, you go to the doctor, they take the blood for a walk. So they change. The other numbers change, they look like
So your blood levels, they won't change. They would change maybe an hour.
if you go to that kind of nerve, it'll be like that.
Sure. So if your blood pressure is higher, we will give you the chance to go through again. Just because I know that we can stress people out, so to say. We don't mean to do it. But yes, we're happy to take in twice. If you think that your heart rate may be up, maybe you ran into the screening because you were running late. So we can let you go through everything and then take your blood pressure again. Correct. Yeah. Can let your heart rate slow down. Maybe do a little bit of breathing through there to lower your blood pressure. Are these results based at all, or just participation? The numbers that have any criteria? Okay. questions? Yeah. There is an equation. I might defer to Mike back here.
I mean, one way to look at it, 220 minus your age is your max heart rate, so it's kind of a simple way to look at it. So 220, so it's 220 minus your age is basically your max heart rate. So then you want to take about anywhere from 60 to 85% of that, you get about 70% is what the range to be at. So 70% of that max heart rate is what you'd like to be at. There's plenty of, there's apps and there's plenty of ways you can just look up, you go to Google and look that up and your max heart rate or yeah. It's individual basis as well, right? Based on your age, also based on activity level, some things you want to do into that. But basically right around 65 to 75% is the range you need. So if you do that 220 minus your age, and see if that 125 is in that percentage range, and you're good for your spot.
All right, so we're going to go through the packet. Did everyone pick up one when they came in? I'll go through it. It may make more sense when you're on the computer and you can, it may be a little bit intuitive once you're there. But these are all your instructions that you need to take your HRA online and to sign up for your biometric screening. So first you're going to go to workforcehealth.com and you'll have to type in a passcode, and that passcode is tailored to your company. So it's KDM 2015, which is right there. And you'll click continue. So then more than likely you're only going to see complete the health survey in English. You won't be allowed to schedule your appointment yet because you haven't registered. So you'll click that, you'll take your HRA, or I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. So then you'll go to another page and you have to click get started, as this says. And our privacy policies will appear. You can look through that and then click begin to start the health survey. And you have to click continue as you are as you're answering the questions. So you'll have a few pages to go through of questions. So you won't be able to go back and review your answers. So make sure you're being as accurate as possible while you're filling it out. So you click continue, and then on the next screen you'll be able to schedule your appointment. So step 8, the picture continues. You'll register, you'll type in your info, register, and then you'll get a confirmation number. The confirmation will pop up, and you'll have to click I'm done. If you try to X out before clicking it, it will prompt you to make sure that you click it. So you want to click I'm done to kind of seal the deal, make sure your appointment is confirmed. So you take this for reference. And that's all, unless anyone has any further questions or.
Yeah, that's a good point. If anybody has a spouse coverage and they want their spouse to get screened as well, your spouse can fill this out separately, choose a time, and your spouse can then get screened again, of course, or after 24 hours if you don't have insurance. But the website is really intuitive. It's only about 4 or 5 screens to do the HRA. It'll go pretty quickly, and then you'll set your time. And if you put your email in the HRA in the first page, and you put your name and address, you'll get an email reminder of your time as well. So it's pretty simple to use it.
And if anyone's having issues, you don't have computer access or whatever, you need help doing it, please come see me. Don't come see me and I'll help you out.
And one final item, if you don't want to get screened, we'd still ask you to do the HRA. Because the HRA is going to give the company composite data of what everybody's kind of doing and what everybody's up to on a composite basis, and then we can design programs for the company based on what that data is. Even if you don't want to get screened, you can take 3 minutes and sign on and fill out the HRA. That will help us all design programs that are more relevant for you.
On this HRA, I don't know what questions are on it, but some things we've done in the past, it's like, you don't
It's pretty
have.
simple today, about exercise and diet and things like that, and lifestyle things.
Okay.
It's pretty simple, it's pretty basic, it's not real invasive.
I'm just wondering if there's something you don't know, just leave.
No, it won't be.
Okay.
You'll go through, you'll be able to answer everything, right?
Nice.
You don't have to look anything up. It's basically just kind of a lifestyle. Yeah, if anybody has any questions, please,